Suffice to know that these were not the kind of people he wanted to associate with. When word got out that we were buying the house from her grandma, they started feeling really left out. There were a few occasions where they tried offering to watch the house, very obviously an attempt to get in there and do God only knows what. We politely declined and did everything we could to avoid them. I happened to be at the house one day. My fiancée was working and I work remotely online, so I was home alone. I had just walked down the street to buy a lemonade when I saw someone at her house. It was extremely unexpected. I got ready to confront a potential burglar when I noticed it was my fiancé's cousin trying to break in. He was startled when he saw me and froze for a minute. I asked him what he was doing, and he told me something about thinking he saw a car he didn't recognize in the driveway. I explained that it was my car, and he left without any big confrontation. As he walked away, though...
So then you have to start asking yourself, is it worth it? I'm going to be like, hell yeah, it's worth it, especially if we got it for a steal. The property is worth it. Just got to deal with a few family members. We can handle that. We can handle that, no problem. Let's go ahead and get this out the way now. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this out the way now. I got a few friends of mine I'd like y'all to meet. Stay off my property, or if you don't want to meet them. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm going to tell you once. Make me tell you twice.
Though I heard him start cursing under his breath. This was the point when I started feeling like we had something to worry about. Feeling unsafe inside your own home is the worst feeling ever, especially being two young recent college graduates. We both worked really hard to make this happen, and the idea that it made us feel unsafe there really bothered us. I still didn't even understand what they wanted out of the whole ordeal. They didn't have enough money to afford the property tax alone. Forget about utilities and anything else. About 2 weeks went by without any kind of confrontation. I had falsely convinced myself that they'd finally leave us alone. I was dead wrong. We went to McDonald's one day, exactly 1 week ago today, the day I'm writing this. Me and my fiancée both just wanted to be out of the house for a little while. Considering we were in the process of buying a house, we didn't want to go eat anywhere expensive, so McDonald's just seemed like a logical decision. Now before I continue, I feel the need to explain something about my fiancée and I. We are normally very serious people. We work very hard and we're both kind of workaholics, but when we get together to have some fun, we go hard. Work hard, play hard, right? Well, we got kind of silly when we played. Let me cut to the chase. We were both playing in the ball pit at our local McDonald's. We always enjoyed goofing off like that, and we weren't too concerned with what people would think of us. We'd only been messing around for...
That's some weird, kinky foreplay right there. That's some weird, kinky foreplay right there. Nah.
5 minutes when her cousin showed up at McDonald's, too. It was creepy. He walked right in, looked at us the entire time. Before he even opened the front door, his eyes were stuck on us, and they felt heavy. My fiancée immediately knew something was wrong when my facial expression changed, and she darted around to see what I was looking at. We both watched as her cousin made his way out to the ball pit.
Is he in the ball pit right now? Is he in the ball pit right now? Yeah, you gotta fight him at that point. You gotta tackle him. Hey, you don't get in the ball pit with us, and we already got this weird exchange between us. Now you just gonna get in the ball pit with us? Nah.
He stepped outside. As he walked, he moved his body to grab something out of his pocket. I couldn't see what it was, but my first thought was a gun or a knife. The look in his eyes told me he was out to do serious harm. He jumped into the ball pit in my direction. I luckily landed one solid punch in his face as he came down. It threw him off. I had an advantage. He kicked me in the stomach, but I landed a few more punches on his face. He started screaming for me to stop, and I was killing him. I would have kept going if my fiancée hadn't been watching. He started this, not me. We got out of the ball pit. He then began telling us that he was going to press charges on me for assaulting him. I wasn't even fazed by this. There were plenty of witnesses there that had seen the whole thing transpire. I started telling him that I was calling the cops and I was going to press charges on him. He got really panicked and ran back to his car and drove off. I'm not going to lie to you. This whole thing really shook me up.